A party in Prague and a treble in Turkey. English football celebrates in Europe.
Evening, Tate.
Evening, Jack. You right?
Yeah, mate. How are you?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. All good. Glad the hot weather's come back.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. Yeah, it's alright at the moment, but hopefully doesn't get much hotter than this. We'll be all good.
Episode 50, and it's the first episode of the year. The fan is back on.
The fan's off, heaters are off. Fans on, sorry, heaters are off.
Shorts are out.
Yeah, flip-flops.
Flip-flops, both of us are on.
Tops might be off in about half hour.
Well, they were, was it? First episode, second episode?
Yeah.
Topless podcast. We have to stop that when we start recording.
Yeah, now we're on episode 50. It's a change, but yeah, hopefully. Keep it closed, stay on.
Look, so it's the final weekend of football, wasn't it, this week? I think, of club football.
Yeah.
There's that god-awful, what's it called? Nations League.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up.
That's what they've gone to, isn't it? The squads, like the England squad, they're together now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was a rant, like because Rice joined it, didn't he, and was shaking our hands and whatever. I thought, like, is that now? I was very confused. Obviously, all the City players, I'd be for having it off. So I was like, didn't know what's going on. But yeah, that awful Nations League.
I think there's 2 games, might be 3, but why that's even a thing?
Yeah.
Post-season is beyond me, but it is what it is. So this podcast will talk about the 2 games in Europe, and then part 2 will be any other business. So we'll start on West Ham and their triumph in Prague, moving on to Man City complete the treble in Istanbul on Saturday night. But before we get started, let's start with the teaser. Southampton knocked out Manchester City in the League Cup to stop a historic quadruple. But which team knocked Manchester United at the League Cup in 1999 to end their quadruple hopes?
God, yeah, good question. I haven't, like you said earlier, you said, hope you haven't seen it. Yeah, definitely have no idea who that is. So, yeah, good question.
I've got lots of stats on the game and teams and whatnot. But yeah, so which team knocked Manchester United at the League Cup in 1999 to end their quadruple hopes? How old would you have been there?
2.
It was actually in 98 it was in.
So yeah, maybe 1. Maybe 9 months.
Right, let's start in Prague. So,
yep.
You weren't a very happy bunny.
The mighty Hammers, no. Sadly, the La Viola, as they're known, Fiorentina didn't quite do enough.
I didn't actually watch any of the game. I didn't watch 1 minute of it. Because
there was a total mixed bag, wasn't it? It was like, obviously you were not interested in it, but a lot of people didn't watch it because they couldn't, or like you just didn't want to, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, obviously, it seemed like everyone I knew was suddenly become a West Ham fan, so that was good, but...
Well, it's like I mentioned to you, because I was actually at my granddad's, so I didn't watch it, but I came back from London to Chelmsford, and the train was full of... Sorry, when I got to the station, it was full of West Ham fans going into London to watch it. Down every nook and cranny of any street in Chelmsford, there was a claret and blue shirt. Yeah. There are families getting dropped off outside the pub.
Yeah.
I even mentioned I got some little kid blew bubbles on my face. He was blowing bubbles. I walked all through his bubbles. And
yeah, they were everywhere, weren't they?
They came out in force, to be fair to them.
Yeah. Well, it's that area though, isn't it? We'll get onto it, but that area we're in is predominantly West Ham and
rife.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
So the game was at 0-0 at half time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's pretty one-sided first half. Like, don't remember, Fiorentina weren't excellent, but they had a lot more on the ball. It was pretty much what I expected. It was Fiorentina dominated the ball and were in West Ham's half. Weren't really threatening a lot. I think Rice had a shot early on that just went past the post, but
yeah, I see that.
It wasn't an enthralling game of football at all. Really, the whole game I wouldn't say was great, but yeah, the main thing from the first half was when their captain, Baraghi, got hit by the plastic cup, didn't he, in the back of the head?
Yeah, was it a vape or a cup or?
I think it was a cup that caused the cut. It was like a beer. They had all them plastic pint cups from the sensible and well-behaved West Ham fans. So yeah, it was all well and good when they were hailing Knowlesy for his bravery and standing on top of the stairs. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, we will encourage that. But obviously, as soon as something like that happens, it's suddenly bad news again. So yeah, that happened first half. But then apart from that, there was
also that just on half time when Jovic scored but got
disallowed. Offside, just offside, but correctly
nose,
called.
Didn't he?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
He got taken off, didn't he?
Yeah,
Half
taken off at
time.
half-time.
Yeah.
Maybe I've made that up, but I'm pretty sure I read something like that.
Yeah, they weren't. I don't know.
Was he playing well, or?
I was gonna say, like, he's obviously a good player, and but I think like that Cabral, the top goal scorer of the competition, like we said the other week, and sort of building him up. He didn't even start. It's just like, well, if he's a top goal scorer of your team for the tournament, just surely he starts. He must get in the side, but I don't know. Maybe they tried something different. I don't know. Obviously, I don't watch them, but
because I thought the same. But then I also thought, for example, Arsenal, for example, could have been in the Europa League final, but their top goal scorer could have been Nketiah. But you wouldn't start him. You would start Jesus, and I don't know. Maybe maybe it was that rotation going on. But
and maybe
that's strange. He didn't start.
Yeah, maybe that Cabral doesn't actually start. He just comes on throughout the tournament, plays like 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and score. I don't know, but yeah, it was weird that seemed like the main striker didn't start, and then Jovic is another big player, and then to do a straight swap for them seems odd. But yeah, second half probably after the goal, disallowed goal. West Ham grew into it, didn't they, as it went on, and again the game didn't change much in that Fiorentina still had lots of possession, but West Ham sort of grew in confidence and realised they could have a go here, and their sort of counter-attack style started to work quite well. They had it sort of opened up a bit more. But yeah, it wasn't, again, a lot of neutrals. Yeah, it was a pretty poor game of football.
And then West Ham got a penalty through VAR, wasn't it? It was a ball over the top. And I can't remember was it Bowen trying to get through?
Bowen, I think, might have been,
and
sort of getting around a bit. That Baraghi,
handled it.
Sort of whacked it with his hand.
There was lots of claims, nothing got given. Then he went to the screen, gave it. Penalty, Benrahma stuck it away, sent it the wrong way. 1-0 West Ham. Great penalty, to be fair.
Yeah.
I was actually bantering some of the West Ham fans on Saturday, and I said, because we all moan about VAR, but surely now if you've won a European Cup with the aid of VAR,
through that,
you can't ever moan about it again.
Well, that's like West Ham.
We're all fickle about that. But that was like
West Ham throughout the season in the Premier League have had some horrible decisions against them, but then, like you said, in the final, it's correct decision. It was handball, but it's quote unquote gone in their favour, and obviously they're over the moon with it. So. It does, sadly, even itself out in a pretty rough way, but yeah.
For you.
Yeah. For anyone that's not a West Ham fan, but no, yeah, it was a good not an easy penalty, but yeah, good penalty from Benrahma. Smashed it home, 1-0 up, and
because I had that alert go through on my phone, and I was like, here we go. I thought that would be it, but then they actually equalised
about 5 minutes after that. I think Bonaventura, I'm going to say.
He used to play for AC Milan, I want to say.
He was quite a good player. He was in the middle, sort of like a bit of an 8, sort of a 10, looked quite good. Again, got on the ball loads, but yeah, a nice little finish. Pulled back to him and he hit it in the corner and thought, whoa, 1-0, here we go. Like, game on. They're back in it. But like I said, West Ham didn't really faze them. They were, second half, they were much better. They couldn't play much worse. And then, they were much better. And then, obviously...
They had a couple chances, didn't they, before the inevitable happened?
Yeah, it weren't... After, it sort of was a pretty even game after that. It was a few chances here and there. Nothing... Straight after Fiorentina scored, actually, I think, again, his name is Manjagor or something, came on, but he hit a shot just wide and it looked like Fiorentina on top, but then, it wasn't much in it for West Ham in that they were pretty comfortable and, they again, their counter-attack was working and they were sort of putting on the pressure. Set pieces started to play their part. Souček, I think, had a header or a chance late on, but then it felt like the inevitable 90th minute.
I left my granddad's. I think it was like the 91st minute. So I thought, yes, I'm going to get back for extra time. I can watch this and then potentially watch penalties. Thinking in my head, I actually had, because obviously last week on the pod we had Andy here, and I said 2-1 Fiorentina on penalties. I thought, come on, need to get one of these predictions right. Got every single one wrong so far. And then literally as I parked up, looked at my phone, and I could see the chat going off, and then I clicked on it. I was like, oh god, oh no. For me, it just felt inevitable. You're watching a game and you're like hoping and praying they didn't score, but Paqueta slipped him through, and Bowen coolly made it 2-1, and couldn't have won it in a better way, really, can you? No. If you're gonna write a script for a final, you cannot write that in a better way. Moyes running down the touchline.
Yeah, like Fiorentina scored a goal disallowed correctly to put 1-0 up. 1-0 up for themselves, then 1-1, then you score a 90 whatever minute from one of your favourite players. Yeah, pretty good.
And that meant that West Ham won, and they were the first time since 1980 that they lifted a major trophy.
First major silverware for 43 years for West Ham.
Yeah, and they've got another note. Yeah, it was David Moyes' first trophy in over 1,000 games as manager.
That was his 1,097th game, his first major trophy.
So that was the thing. I'm nowhere near as anti-West Ham as you are. Put that on record. I don't think that's too hard. But I was disappointed. I was pleased for him, for Moyes. I was pleased for Rice to think he deserved it. But I think Bowen seems a good lad. And
oh no, I'm with you. The team, irrelevant to the team, is the support. You cannot deal with the unbearable, insufferable support that we are surrounded by. The team doesn't faze me one bit at all. Not interested. They're fine. Moisey, that was brilliant when he gave his medal to his dad and all that. It was incredible. That must, like you said, 1,097th game to win an actual trophy. Yeah, brilliant. But no, I can't deal with West Ham that surround this area that we live in.
Did you know that West Ham won more games in the Europa Conference League this season than in the Premier League?
Yeah.
They won 12.
They were undefeated, weren't they, in
the
Conference League?
12 out of 12 or 12 out of 13, I think they won.
I think they've maybe won 13 and drew 1 in the Conference League, yeah.
Which is nuts. Can I have your opinion on the Conference League?
Well, that's the next part. Obviously, the game is what it is, but I'd rather discuss the general thoughts and opinions, not on the tournament, but like just as a whole, what it means. But yeah, it is the third tier. It's the third tier of a European competition. West Ham finished 7th to get into the competition. Fiorentina finished 7th in Italy, then won a 2-legged playoff game to enter the competition. It's created from UEFA. It's only 2 years old. Is it about money? Who knows? Is it truly about giving the quote-unquote the lesser teams a chance to have a go in Europe and experience all that? Who knows? But yeah, in the past we've had the Intertoto Cup, for example, and all the rest of it.
Winners' Cup.
Probably even less than that. But however, I was saying all that, I do think this competition has a higher importance and integrity, if that's the right word. I personally hold that above, much higher than the previous tournaments they've had. But
100%.
Yeah, I don't know what you think, but
no, because I think before our time you had the Cup Winners' Cup and some others. Arsenal have won that, and some other cups, and they said the Intertoto Cup and things like that. But this seems to have been created to give that third tier of football teams that chance to have that moment, and you can't begrudge the West Ham fans celebrating like it's the Champions League, because that's a European final. A European final is a European final, and it's massive. Pardon the pun. Yeah, it's massive for them.
Well, yeah, no, and
the players again will always celebrate it like it's massive, because they don't get to that stage often, and especially in Europe. And being an English team, it's one competition that Man City will never be in, so you've got a chance.
Exactly, and I've got here, but I saw lots of posts and things online like Twitter and whatever, but the lesser clubs who'd absolutely, that's the thing, that is their dream, that's probably their end goal, is like Palace fans, Villa, even lower league clubs who are still huge, large clubs like Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland. I saw lots of things that they're a million miles away, but there's a ever so slight dream that one day that could be them, sort of thing. And it's a long way off, and it's in a faint distance, but yeah, no, 100%. Ultimately, as a fan, that's what you want, a final. That's what you desire. For a few days in a European city, preparing for the final, and your team win the game in that fashion. Yeah, you couldn't write any better.
And the prize for winning it is a place in the Europa League group stage straight away. None of this silly going to Astra Go like they've had done before. And it's equivalent to finishing in the top 6. I think it's West Ham's 3rd consecutive season now in Europe, I believe.
Yeah.
And all in all, it's turned out to be, like we said with Andy last week, an A+ season.
Yeah, of course. You forget the Premier League form totally. Like you said earlier, they won more games in this competition. Your Premier League form, you're not fussed about that at all. As long as you stay up, they've won this competition. So yeah, couldn't have been a better season for them.
I think they get about £20 million prize money for the whole tournament, which is obviously good. And it means that because they've won the Conference League, like I just mentioned, they go into the Europa League, joining Liverpool and Brighton, which is quite a.
Well, yeah,
You've matched. It sounds silly, but you've matched what they've done. They've both had. Well, Liverpool have had a poor season, but Brighton have had a fantastic season. But you've matched. What
you've ended up in the same scenario. You've just gone about it a different route, and but that's what like this tournament. Especially in England, like the Premier League, the top 6-7 has increased in difficulty to break into, and that's in recent seasons. And this coming season, it's going to be as hard as it's ever been. So teams like West Ham that. Yes, they've done well recently, but aren't going to finish in the top 7. This is a perfect way to try and stay in a higher competition and compete in Europe.
Well, like you mentioned earlier with Aston Villa, they're in it next year. That's going to be their sole aim.
Yeah.
And you will get the occasion. You know, Juventus are in it next year.
Are they? What, in the Conference League?
Yeah, because they got.
Of course,
I'm pretty sure
yeah.
they got their points deducted, so they finished 7th in the end.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So they'll be the favourites. But then it's imagine a European final, Villa versus Juve.
Yeah.
Like that will be that will have eyes on it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it's obviously West Ham that they won't be in it unless they finish 3rd in their group, and then the lower every team gets lower. So there might be some Europa League teams that drop down. Was Fiorentina in the Europa League to start with?
No, they like I said, they finished 7th and then actually had to qualify for the Conference League to even get in it. So
because I actually remember when we did our whatever episode it was very early on, we did our predictions for this, and we both said West Ham will be there or thereabouts, but we both said Villarreal because Emery was there, and obviously he then left.
Yeah, and they didn't.
And then they got to the quarters or whatever, and then they got knocked out. But
but now Emery's at Villa and could be his time. But however, on the obviously West Ham have now won the Conference League, which is considered a major trophy. But that rubbish argument of, and right so these Antonio Cresswell, all West Ham players, they'll be remembered between West Ham fans, but the argument of Harry Kane's never won a trophy and he potentially might never win a trophy, but I can assure you every man and his dog will remember Harry Kane before they even think about Cresswell, Antonio, even Bowen for that example. Rice might go on to win things and move on to a bigger and much better club, but yeah, that is rubbish. For example, Scott Carson, he's won 2 Champions Leagues. Scott Carson, I remember Paul Robinson, I remember Jordan Pickford before I remember Scott Carson. So that argument is just done. It's just awful argument.
Well, on that, like I get it because I do enjoy the banter with the Spurs fans, and it's funny, and obviously it's annoying for you. But like Calvin Phillips has won a treble.
Yeah,
playing
exactly. Scott Carson's won a treble, playing
more minutes for England than he has for Man City this year. But yeah. I want to have your opinion on my ranking system of available trophies, because I don't want to disrespect the Conference League, but and obviously I know you're very vocal on can we call ourselves champions of Europe?
Well, that's the other thing. Who won League One this year? Plymouth.
Yeah.
Can they call themselves champions of England? Can Burnley call themselves champions of England? No, they can't.
True.
So
I would go. This is from bottom to top. League Cup, 5th. Europa League Conference, 4th. FA Cup, 3rd. Europa League. 6th.
Yeah.
Europa
everyone
League,
down. Yeah, 1.
Europa League. And then I've always maintained the Premier League, Champions League is pretty much equal. I think it swings and roundabouts. I think this year the Premier League was harder to win than the Champions League. Look at Inter's run, for example. They've only had to beat Man City once to
But to win
the Premier League,
same,
you need 90 points. I think that's a harder achievement.
Yeah, I'd have the same ranking.
It swings around. Like sometimes you can have a horrific run. Like I remember Real Madrid a few years ago played Bayern, PSG, Liverpool, and like Atletico. That's a joke, but.
No, yeah, I agree. The Champions League, Premier League, probably very similar. Some, again, it's 50-50 in it. People would argue both ways, but yeah, I'd probably the Conference League above League Cup, but no higher than that. But then it just is irrelevant. Isn't it? The teams that are in it and could be in it, if you're going to win it. For West Ham now, it doesn't matter what happens. Like they've always done that. So
yeah, and like you said, them players will go down an absolute folklore. Is that the right saying? Yeah. They'll have statues of them outside the ground. But there will be heroes like Bowen will be that guy. The commentator will say he used this phrase, it's up for grabs now, when Bowen threw, and that's like a synonymous, iconic phrase of Arsenal. Because in the 89 season, I think 1989 season, Arsenal had to go to Anfield, and so they were level. Arsenal were 3 points below them with a goal difference of 1 less. So they had to go to top of the league last game of the season, win 2-0, win by 2 clear goals. Sorry, to win the league. They went 1-0 up. Your mate Alan Smith scored,
God.
and then in the 93rd minute, the ball came dropped down, and Michael Thomas bundled it in. And as he hit it, the commentator went, "It's up for grabs now." And that's where it's synonymous from.
Yeah.
But that occasion didn't quite match up.
No.
You could tell it was forced, and he had his lines. He knew. Moisey magic, and it was it's what it is. But
yeah, no, of course, and yeah, they obviously absolutely loving it at the minute, West Ham, and like you said, seemed like they were everywhere on the Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah.
How old are you?
25.
25. So in 40 years, you'll be 75. Well, West Ham
65.
65, yeah. Will West Ham win a trophy before then?
No.
Next 4 years?
No way. They can't. No. Will Spurs probably not either.
When we're still doing this in 40 years' time, we'll clip that bit.
Yeah. But you guys ask the same about Spurs. We won't win nothing either. So
you might do. We'll get on to why later. Any more you want to add? One thing I want to add, that Emerson became the first player to win all 3 trophies.
Great. Another person. I will never remember Emerson. I remember Harry Kane before I remember Heung-min Son before I remember him. Emerson. It's incredible stat. I've seen it. It's
Europa League with Chelsea, Champions League with Chelsea, and Conference League.
And he won the Euros, didn't he, with Italy?
I don't think he played. He definitely didn't play in the Champions League final. He might have played in the Europa.
Yeah, he's won every UEFA competition there. It's brilliant.
Well, Tammy Abraham would have been the same, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
If he had won
the Conference League, yeah.
If he'd won the last week for Roma.
Oh, sorry, yeah, of course. Oh, Europa League, yeah, what we're talking about.
He won the Conference League
last year, of course, yeah. But again, yeah, no one's going to remember Emerson. But well done, mate. Brilliant.
Right, should we move on to the Champions League final?
Yeah.
Right. Did you watch the game?
I didn't. I was out Saturday,
partying in Saltasia, weren't you?
Yeah. Surrounded by loads of West Ham fans. No, it was, I didn't watch it Saturday, but it seemed, what I heard and what people, I've seen stuff and read things, and a lot of people talking about it, just seemed like a pretty boring standard game. Non-event final, yeah. So
to set the scene a little bit, City entered as probably the biggest favourites in the last 20 years, maybe, of a Champions League final. We all spoke about it last week, sound like the biggest favourites for ages. The Premier League winners, the FA Cup winners versus a side that finished third in Serie A in a reasonably weak league. And all the pressure was seemingly on City. And even their owner, Sheikh Mansour, had shown up to watch the game. It's the first time he'd watched a game since the first game he took over.
That's mental, isn't it? Surely, the things they've won, the finals they've been in.
But he's crazy. the big dog.
Top, yeah,
the big
true.
dog. So they have that other guy turns up. You probably see him in a lot of interviews, and he's like the face who doesn't think about the actual top dog.
The main guy.
He didn't even rock up to the other. I think it might have been because of COVID, but the big dog was there. So it was the first time since 2008 he'd rocked up to see his team that he'd invested more than £1 billion in. But that City looked nervous. There was the camera cut to Pep, and he was like, calm down, relax. Edison had a couple of dodgy kicks, and they just weren't playing very well. First half was pretty dull, to be honest. Haaland had one half chance, and Juve, they called them. Inter could have done a bit better with, I think it was Barelli. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, it didn't seem that great of a game. It just, a lot of the reports said it was a hard fought win, and it was a tight, intense game. And like our prediction, I think I said like 3-0 City. I think, what do you say, 2-0?
2-0 Rodri.
2-0 Rodri. I think Andy might have said 3-1 or so. Like yes, that could have been the score, but it's probably a bit shoot because finals are never.
That's what we mentioned last week.
I should have, maybe I should have thought not it matters, but finals are, all you need is one goal, and Gundogan said it. He said one goal made the difference, as it does many times in finals, and we feel very fortunate it was ours. And one goal's enough, but it just seemed like a very tight, standard sort of final of any situation. And like you said, City had all that pressure in there, all the pressure, and they were the favourites, the heavy favourites, and there was so much riding on it. Treble, Pep's, was it fourth win, Champions League, third win?
Third, third.
Third, and then as a manager, there's I think one as a player, but yeah, it was all on them. But yeah, they got it done, didn't they? Your man Rodri.
Yeah, and the goal came from, there was a nice little move on the right hand side. I think it might have been Stones, cut it back, it got cleared out, and then Rodri, lovely side foot, bent it past Darmian. Keeper could only stand there and watch it, and then obviously ran off knee sliding. The City fans going wild and wild inverted commas, trying to say, from some of the videos I've seen. And yeah, they all the players were like, "This is." You knew then, right? Inter got to get two. Like, it's going to be tough. They came close, to be fair.
They had a few chances, didn't they?
They had a few chances. But no, I said, tongue in cheek, Rodri was going to score. I believed it myself, but you got to back your PFA Pro of the Year.
He started fifth. That was his 52nd start of this season.
He plays every single game, and that's sort of what Arsenal need with a Rice. He's durable. I think Rice must have played. Don't know off the top of my head. He must have played the same amount of game starts, and I found it quite fitting that Rodri was the one that Pep did his silly Pep roulette. In the final 2 years ago, he left Rodri out, who played every game beforehand, for him to start and then score the winner.
And there's only Messi, when Pep's been in charge, has started more than Rodri has. So that shows you how much obviously Pep values Rodri.
I mean, he's such a good player. Like he does. I think now he's probably getting his flowers because he's scoring. It sounds silly, but because he's scoring more important goals.
Yeah, once
people talk about him, don't they?
Once you add goals to it, people start taking notice.
Last year, he scored the equaliser in that Villa game. I think he might have scored another couple of important. I keep mentioning it, but he scored against Arsenal last year in the 93rd minute, and they only won the league by, was that a point last year?
Yeah.
There you go. Still, that's potentially a title-winning goal that he scored, and he's adding them. He seems to have that composure from the edge of the box where he just passes it in. He doesn't
he just curls it or plays it. He doesn't lash it, does he? For someone like you said, he predominantly a holding midfielder, and you think, probably one of the people you actually, you can have a shot, mate. But he shows that he's obviously very, very good.
Because City went as we thought, but Walker, who'd picked up some sort of knock.
Yeah, Walker didn't start, didn't he?
So he started Kanji. And I think that was a bit detrimental to City, because Stones was playing playing right back, and he wasn't really doing his inverted centre mid role.
Yeah.
But Walker came on, and then he grew in confidence and started doing a bit more of that. He was very good throughout, but I think he had a better game once he was playing
in the middle,
centre half.
Which is actually outrageous, isn't it? Like, he's not just doing it in a League Cup against whoever, Grimsby or something. He's done it in massive moments.
But Inter weren't without their chances. I remember it was a misplaced pass from Bernardo Silva that sent through Martinez. Could have squared it to Big Rom.
I saw he tried to clip it over, didn't he?
He could have played it through his legs, but that was a big chance. And then, talking of the devil, Big Rom Lukaku, he had a couple. Yeah,
there was a brilliant save. Was that Edison's save towards the end, wasn't it? That was after when the guy headed it over and hit the bar. That Lukaku's after.
Yeah, so it was the fullback, wasn't it?
DeMarco, I think, headed it over.
Hit the bar and then came and then headed it, and it hit Lukaku off the line. And
but I think there was defenders in the way, weren't there?
I think Diaz would have cleared that.
They would have never scored from that. But then, Lukaku's header at the end.
Oh, he's got to score that. It's got to be. I think that's going to be his last game for Inter as well. Going to come back to Pochettino and Chelsea and see what he can do.
Yeah, God.
It
was
was
definitely not a Poch striker.
It's one of them ones where he's just got to score. If you cost £98 million,
but then it's like, obviously it is a good save, but it's just been headed. Lukaku's just trying to head it at the goal, which he's done down, and it's obviously, unfortunately for him, hit the goalie's leg and it's gone out. But hopefully Lukaku, 100 million pound striker would tuck that one away.
But Pep said it was a cup finals often are won on coin tosses, basically. You flip a coin, and he goes, "This is why we have." I think you might say the best goalkeeper in the world in Edison, and Edison's normally a bit of an unsung hero, really, because you don't really talk about them having a good goalkeeper. He doesn't really have to do much most of the time. But he came up trumps, and that's what they have him for. And he is a very good goalkeeper. He made a great save there, and right at the end of the corner, there was one long free kick, and he just came out, run out, right outside the 6-yard box, came and claimed it, took all the pressure off, wasted 45 seconds, and you think, that is it. Yeah,
so what Pep said, then, winning this competition and the treble is so difficult. Today is not the important, because of his English, but he said today is not the way, it's just to do it. So do you know what I mean? They win 1-0,
Yeah,
it's irrelevant. You forget about all those chances, you forget about whatever. Yeah.
Whether, like you said, but they are just an incredible team. Where you see after 20 minutes, what's his name? De Bruyne comes off injured. Just bring on Foden. Don't think Mahrez even got a minute.
No.
They are just.
Did Alvarez even play?
But sorry?
Alvarez, did he get on?
No, he didn't get on. No.
Became the first player to win the treble and the World Cup in the same season.
Yeah.
Didn't even play in the Champions League final.
One of 9 players to win the World Cup and the Champions League in the same season. I don't know who the others are. But no, they are an incredible team.
Yeah.
And obviously they've got this thing hanging above their head with the charges and whatnot. But also people say they've got a lot of money. They've got unlimited resources, but that's not why they're good. They're good because I think the bloke in charge
he's incredible.
Is the best manager.
Yeah, incredible.
He's the best manager currently. People have their opinions where he's the best manager ever. And obviously there's the Fergie shout, but time will tell what will happen there. You've only got to look at PSG. You can have all the money in the world and they're an absolute car crash.
Exactly. And like on Pep, he's become his second treble as a manager. He's the only manager to ever do that at 2 separate clubs. Like you said, I'm just literally probably copying what you just said, but he can have all the money in the world, but it just shows that he is actually incredible. He's got all the money in the world. He can get who he wants and play who he wants and all the rest of it, but he's obviously very, very good at what he's doing. So, yeah.
Who would do a better job? Pep at West Ham or Moyes at City next season?
Pep at West Ham, 100%. Yeah, no.
Would Pep win the Europa League with West Ham next season?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know.
No, he definitely needs time, but Pep's a joke, absolute joke.
No, he's fantastic, and I think if you're a young player, that's who you want. He's motivational, he's enthusiastic. Where these managers of yesteryear, your Allardyces, your whatnots, so your Pardew's, your Mark Hughes, they're done now. You don't want to.
No.
You don't want to be playing for these. You want young, up and coming man who wants to. And that will make you feel better. And that will make you better. Look at the.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a player really under Pep that he hasn't improved at some stage. Where it might have taken him a year, like Grealish, for example. We sort of changed his game a little bit from last year's on the subs bench for most of it, really.
Yeah.
And now he's been, since the World Cup, started pretty much every game. You got Haaland, who didn't actually have a great game, but does what he does and occupies all the defenders. And on the right, Bernardo Silva just being a bit of a workhorse, really.
But like we always say, these are brilliant players, and Gundogan, the captain's probably going to go. And in the summer they'll get 2 or 3 new players in. And you think, oh my god, how's he getting rid of him or not? Like doing this and doing that, and like I said, with Pep, I think they'll just carry on. And that's not all he can do, but when he stays next year, 4 leagues in a row, if he wants to do that, do they go? I mean, I'm sure they went for it this year, but the quadruple could be on it. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a mad side.
Yes, so he's got 2 years left in his deal, and I think there were reports coming out today that that's going to be him done after 2 years. He would have been there
9 years by the end of it, I think.
No one's ever done four in a row, which I had a little Google after last week's episode. That would be historic. That'd be something that Fergie's never done. So that's something he could put in that hat.
Yeah.
If you went and did back-to-back Champions Leagues, United have never done that.
No.
It's all about things like that. It's building your resume of trophies. So he's always got, personally, he's got a huge one, but he wants to. If City want to compete with United in terms of history and longevity, then they're a winning machine. They'll keep winning. They'll win at least 1 trophy next year. Like I said, whether that be the League Cup, the FA Cup, whatever they decide to do, they'll be good at it.
Yeah, of course. So exactly that. And you've seen this year, when it matters the most as well, this year more than ever, you've seen how good they are, and they just get it. They win. They just get the game done. FA Cup final wasn't a brilliant performance, but they won. The Champions League was pretty dull, but they won the game. So,
and first ever Champions League for them, and it was for the fans that have supported them throughout the years, away in League One on them wet and Tuesday nights. It must be a weird, surreal feeling.
Yeah, they always say it when you see like the true Man City fans. They just say we're just incredibly lucky, and everyone else you're pretty much just jealous. Like everyone else in the country wants that to be them, but it's not. And yeah, like you said, they're probably not as well supported as a lot of the top half sides or a lot of the clubs in the league that that you think of. But yeah, they are just incredibly lucky, and what can they, as a supporter, there's nothing. They are just fortunate. You can't be angry with them, and it's just jealousy, and they've got very lucky, and it's worked as well. Like you said about PSG, they got all the money. Yes, they win the league all the time, and they probably win the French Cup, but in the European level, they've struggled for so long.
Yeah, but you look at around a PSG team. Look at there's so much dross there.
Yeah, of course.
You just think, why have they signed him? And for a team that I think their transfer strategy is horrific anyway. For a team based in Paris, in France, look at the French team over the last 6-7 years. The amount of young French players that you could just attract is a joke, and that's what they should be pushing.
Yeah.
The conveyor belt of talent is like, you have to push all these players for, and they don't really have any.
Yeah.
Like, but then they got Mbappe, but they bought him, and they need to get that. Instead of buying, like, I remember one, they got Danilo Pereira. Just to be a bit Sporting for like 6 years. He rumoured for West Ham once and Arsenal, and then they bought him when he was like 32. And why are you buying Ramos who's 38 or 36?
You can have all the money, but you like we say, you got to do it right. And like Chelsea this year, it's not worked. It's gone horribly wrong. They finished 12th, whether they 11th, whatever it is. It doesn't always work, and it's taken City a long time to. Like a few years ago, they were dominant, but it's taken a long time. Newcastle probably going trying a similar route there. It'll take them probably 2 or 3 years to be really, really at the top of their game. But yeah, it just comes down to their manager, Pep, and the players they've got, and it all works.
So obviously next season they'll be in the Super Cup against Seville. The Conference League don't have a thing like that, did they?
No.
Yeah. Well, who would they play?
Exactly.
And then if they win that, I think they go to the Club World Cup, and that could be the 5-peat.
Yeah, it could be everything, couldn't it?
Well, they have got the big game on August 6th, I think it is.
Is that what you're in?
Community Shield.
Are you going to go?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I've got a very good record at Community Shield.
Down at Wembley.
I've seen us beat City there and beat Chelsea there twice, I think.
That would be something you'll definitely win as well.
We normally always win it. We always win it. You get another trophy in the cabinet.
Yeah, exactly that.
Early trophy.
Essentially shouldn't be there, and then you'll win it, and then, we won a Community Shield. Harry Kane still won nothing. Well done.
Get another trophy in the cabinet. To be fair, we've won that a hell of a lot of times. We've only lost it in my lifetime. I'm just saying that we lost it to Chelsea in 2006, and obviously we didn't win a trophy then for a while. Yeah, we've only lost it once. Maybe actually we lost it to United when we went invincible. Invincible, should I say? Lost it on penalties. But yeah, it's a day at Wembley. Like, it doesn't really mean anything.
No.
It only means something if you win it. And I know that sounds stupid, but no one cares about it. Like, could you name? Well, I probably couldn't name the last few winners of it, but
yeah, I know what you're saying. But no, I think next year City, Pep, they just go again, don't they? Really?
That'll be very interesting. They're going to be the favourites again for everything.
Yeah.
They are. They're going to be the favourites for the FA Cup, for the Premier League, for the Champions League, for the League Cup. And it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the summer.
Yeah, it will.
Right, should we leave it there for part 1?
Yeah.
And come back with part 2.
So this section, like we said at the start of the part 1 really, but obviously the football season's ended and there's not many games going on, and there's different topics happening, and you sort of this period you just waiting on transfers and obviously new managers moving in and around. So yeah, we're going to start with Tottenham's new manager, Ange Postecoglou.
Yes, well, Jack did want to do a full in-depth breakdown of Soccer Aid.
Yeah, it was either this or Soccer Aid. So.
But we decided against that. Did you watch any of that, by the way, quickly?
No. It didn't even cross my mind to put it on. I just saw some things this morning of I don't know if it might ruin what your loser of the week is, but
no, it's not. No.
Yeah, just like Rashford's tweet to Bolt because he done the finger to the head, and it's just I'm definitely avoided.
Rashford's been naughty boy, hasn't he?
Has he? He
broke out his fiancée out in America, partying all the girls.
Oh no, I've not seen nothing. No.
No, he hasn't been feeding the kids.
Yeah, school dinners have stopped. Summer's happening. School's out.
Yeah, school's out for the summer for Mark. Yes, like I said, Ange Postecoglou.
Yes.
Is that how we're saying it?
Yeah, Ange Postecoglou, I reckon.
That's going to be very interesting after a few pints.
Yeah, or if when we lose 4-0 against Luton. Yeah. So yeah, no, he signed a 4-year deal. It sounds really weird, but there's like a slight optimism again. There's no reasoning for it. There's no rationale. But I'm just glad we still haven't got Mason. Like, we've actually got a actual manager in charge, and he might be awful, he might be brilliant, who knows? But I'm glad we've got a genuine manager in charge, and we're not flapping about and is Mason going to get it, or are we going to get Scott Parker, or are we going to get Brendan? Like all this carry on for no reason. We've actually got someone in and gone, right, you're going to be in charge, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, his first managerial job was 1996. Basically, a short summary of his career. He was in charge of South Melbourne, Australian youth sides, Australia's men's team. Spent some time in Japan. Went to Brisbane Roar. They were nicknamed Roar Salona when he was in charge. It was a similar period to basically Pep and their prime Barcelona. I think they won their A-League or whatever. They won their league and they were pretty good out there. And just left Celtic after winning the treble with Celtic, and left to join Tottenham. And he's won in Japan. He won a league for a side that hadn't won it for a certain amount of years and all the rest of it. So his CV's not too bad. Like he's experienced. He's like, I think he's 57, something like that. But yeah, like I said, it's just a weird slight optimism. It might be terribly wrong, but yeah, I'm just glad we've got someone in. I think
the optimism comes from his personality. He's got a bit of it's not a Mourinho or a Conte personality where their stamp is, I've done it all.
Yeah.
You haven't done it. You've needed me to get you in it. I'm here to bring you to my level.
Yeah, you need me more than I need you. Basically.
And he's come in I'm looking at it from an outsider. Come in and might be more refreshing. He's going to know what he wants and who he doesn't want, and I think he'd have made that quite clear.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good thing or not, he's not in Europe. I think it would have been. I think he would have loved to have been 7th and had that crack at a Conference League.
Yeah,
if you could have put that in the cabinet. That's a feather in his cap, but he's obviously got a very tough job to start with. His biggest decision comes straight away, which seems to come around every summer. What's going to go on with Kane? It looks like he'll probably stay. I think he'll probably stay. And then he's got another decision to get him a contract.
The first of all, it's an incredibly difficult job to take, but yeah, like you said, I've gone down the rabbit hole, seen loads of team talks and interviews about him, and like I'm fully invested in him. But yeah, he seems like that classic like forward thinking, and he plays he's basically a 4-3-3. He plays a attacking style and likes to make it exciting and score goals and all those good things. It's totally opposite to what we've had with Mourinho, Conte, even Nuno. Like just boring, defensive, 5 at the back, just awful football. And that might be down to the players. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. But yeah, it's just nice, someone refreshing, and hopefully it goes well. But about the CV and like what he'd done before, and everyone says how he's never done it at a top level and his experience. Well, Pochettino didn't. He was at Southampton and made them a mid-table side. Like his CV wasn't incredible. He hadn't won Champions League, hadn't got into Europe and done all this. Like even if you went back to Martin Jol for Tottenham, who was considered one of our better managers of recent times. Again, his CV wasn't out of this world, and he wasn't a Mourinho or Conte. And like you said, we've had those, and you've seen how those have turned out. So,
I think it's an exciting, but it's new, isn't it? No one knows anything about him.
Exactly.
You can't say whether or not he'll fail. You don't know. I don't think. But Spurs fans won't know what's happening. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the summer. There needs to be a clear out of such of just the player, like you said, Poch players needs to go. That needs to get rid of that team.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned there, if he's a 4-4-3 manager, that's an exciting new thing, because you've been playing this Dross 5 at the back for God knows how many years. it means you won't have to rely on that third centre. You can have that third centre half in an attacking sense, which.
And
that's what you want. You want to see you want to see effort. You want to enjoy what you're watching. You want to see a good game of flowing football, nice goals, nice play.
Because if we're going to finish 7th again, I'd much rather do it playing that supposed style than 5 at the back and horrible and hoping that Kane scores twice, because that's all we've been doing for the last 2-3 years, and it's just been awful. But yeah, like I said earlier, the top 6-7 now. I think for us next season, in terms of the league, top 6 would be incredible, because I think, like I said, the top 7 now includes us, but those teams have the most money, have the capability, to spend the most money, and they have the capability to buy the best players and give them the best wages. So Arsenal, Newcastle, City, Chelsea, United, do you know what I mean? The list would go on, and even Brighton now, their second season with De Zerbi, they'll be the same, if not slightly better. So yeah, it's incredibly tough. So if we finish top 6, I think that'd be incredible, because if you finish top 6, you tend to win a lot more than you lose. And I think if it gets top 6, then great. But yeah, just want to see a change, and it's hard, because like, what do you want to do? Do you want to just be top 4? Do you want to just be like a good side and finishes top 6, then might creep into the top 4? And yeah, it's very difficult to say. But like you said about the rebuild and players and all the rest of it, it's going to take 2-3 seasons to sort out and get who he wants. And if it's working, then that's how long you need to give your manager. But yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's just a bit refreshing, and hopefully something different and something positive for us.
Because it's tough, like I said, what constitutes to a good season? Yeah. Is it finishing 4th, or is it finishing 7th and winning the League Cup? Is it finishing...
Well, it's like West Ham. They finished 15th, and they were worried about relegation for a large part of the season, but they've won the European Conference League, so it's a brilliant season. So if we finish 17th next season but win the League Cup and FA Cup, have we had a good season? So
yeah, but I think you would probably take finishing 6th next season, but more importantly, having a season of new players bedding in with a lot of this. Like, for example, August 14th, whenever it's first game of the season, correct me if I'm wrong, the last thing you want to see is Lloris in goal, starting the first game of the season, Dyer starting,
Ben Davis
starting, and you want some, I don't know if he'll be back or not, but you want a new partner, or you want Højbjerg and Basuma starting, first game of the season. You want Kane, Son, and whether he stays or not, Kulusevski or whoever, and probably you want a nice attacking midfielder in that hole. That's what I'm envisaging happening. You want at least 3 key new players to get your teeth into, and you want to invest in them. They might not be hit the ground running from day one, but by the end of the season, you think, that's a solid improvement to what we were last year.
Exactly. And if we start, exactly that. If we start next season, we've got Davis, Sanchez, and Dyer playing, and Forster in goal, then who knows? And there's not as if we've got 3 players who are all injured waiting to play. Like, if that's our team, then we know how it's going to go. But
and that for me is, well, I don't care either way. I hope there's your team starting. But it's, as a fan, it's just like, what's the point?
No, because that's one thing. When I was a bit younger and used to obviously go to the games, but you start the season and be like, oh look, we've got a new right back. Oh, what's he like? We've got a new centre field. That's what it sounds stupid. That's what you get excited about, don't you? You look forward to that. But yeah, I'll just say hopefully it goes well, and it's positive. But at the moment, it seems good, and he's saying the right things, and there's all the stuff that's coming out about him is positive, I guess. So,
is there any rumours or anyone might move over from Celtic?
They do that instantly, don't they? And they might bring in like a random, like something, because he went to Celtic and brought some Japanese players from the league he was in before, which I understand because the levels are similar. But I think the jump from Scottish football to the Premier League is probably too much. To suddenly bring 2 or 3 from that team. But yeah, that's the other thing. He might have a totally different scouting team or coaches that know certain things, and they might have eyes on players that he might think of players that he knows, I'm never getting a Celtic, but if I went to a Premier League club, they might be interested, and you'll never know.
Bring Joe Hart back?
Well, then I thought because we're heavily linked with Raya, and that's I think that's quite good. He seems like a good goalkeeper, but I thought he might this Postecoglou might actually go for Pickford because of the fact he was with Joe Hart, and he obviously liked an English goalie. He was commanding, he was doing very well for Celtic, but I thought maybe he might lean towards Pickford in the same way.
So interesting you brought that up, because that's the two: Man United, Pickford, Spurs, Pickford, Raya, Man United, Raya, Spurs. They're the two, and the two goalkeepers and the two clubs. Doing the rounds. It's interesting because obviously you need a new goalkeeper. I think the figures are pretty similar. I think about 35, 40 million you've seen. But it could all be paper talk. We're just seeing what we've seen online and whatnot. But I do think the goalkeeper is one of the most important things. The manager, when they first come in, think of Pep. First thing he did was, Joe Hart, no, I don't want you.
Yeah.
Got his goalkeeper in.
Yeah.
They all do it. They all go in. All the big managers go in. And that's what Ten Hag's also got to do this year. He's had a year with De Gea, who he's a legend of the club. He's been there for so long. He's been good for them for the most part.
Golden Glove this year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's made a lot of howlers.
No, I know. I
think people do forget how integral he was to that. When Man United were Moyes, and who did they have? They were the really dross years for them. He was outstanding for them. Even Mourinho years, he was outstanding for them. Football's moved on, and he unfortunately can't use his feet, and that's a big thing in modern day football to use your feet. But it'd be interesting to see what he does. Like you said, he's
and I don't know with transfers. Until it happens, then you know. But it'd be interesting to see if he. I mean, I hope he has ideas and players that he wants, because that's what seems to have happened recently as well. They come in and go, "That's right, our Spurs got a good squad. Like, we can do this." They're like, "No, we don't have a good squad," and I think that's partly why we've slowly declined over the last season. Been pretty poor, but I just think the players have let down the managers, the likes of Mourinho, even Nuno and Conte. Like, you say what you like about Mourinho, all those managers, but it must be to do with the players as well. It can't just be the same. It can't just be the manager. The same players are there. The similar group have followed this little trend of the last few years, and it's coming with the same results. So, hopefully he goes in there and shakes it up a bit and gets some maybe new players in, gets rid of some players, maybe some people we don't even think, why, maybe Son or whoever. Do you know what I mean? Something a bigger player and changes it completely. But only time will tell.
That'd be interesting. So there's been some other high-profile transfers. McAllister gone to Liverpool. With a buyout clause on it for about 35 mil.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal, I think.
Tillemans to Villa on a free.
I think that's really good.
That screams like a good.
That's really
Villa
smart
deal,
Because I know Leicester have been awful, and he's been part of that. But I think with him, a whole new lease of life, basically a new club and a team that's in Europe. I think that will motivate him much more than what he went through this season. Yeah,
I think him and Douglas Luiz in there is probably pretty good partnership. There's rumours they're going to get Oxlade-Chamberlain.
What, Villa?
On a free, yeah.
Interesting.
It looks like they're going to get the band back together. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Callum Chambers. They got Martinez there. Martinez apparently rumours with Chelsea.
I've seen it. Yeah,
Chelsea want a new.
Apparently, Poch might is
new
a bit of an
goalkeeper.
Admirer. But again, that might just be just a load of talk.
Argentine to Argentine.
Yeah,
easily done. But probably one of the main bits of business is, or say business, he's left his contract's expired, but Lionel Messi to Inter Miami. The name Inter Miami really irritates me in general, but that's another podcast on its own. Leaving the French champions Paris Saint-Germain after 2 years, turning down offers from Saudi Arabia and Barcelona to join. I'm actually a bit gutted that Inter Miami sacked Phil Neville last week.
Phil, is it?
Can you imagine an Amazon documentary, Messi sitting there at half-time, the 1-0 down to Orlando, and you've got Phil Neville telling him to press higher, or that would be iconic TV.
Yeah. But that's like him going there. Whoever's the coach, they're just not gonna. Messi's not gonna worry about that, is he? He's just not there for that reason at all. But even on that as well. But obviously, Saudis have picked up a few players, haven't they? And we say like Saudi now as if it's like they're just buying, which they probably are. They are buying the players. It's not the clubs. It's like Benzema's gone to wherever he's gone. Kante's gone to wherever. I saw another, like a French centre back who played in the Championship. He's gone to another club, but yeah, at the minute, obviously, even with the golf as well, linked to the Live Golf and what they're doing with the PJ now, Saudi's obviously dominating the world with money and
Zaha
trying
as
to infiltrate.
well.
Yeah, Zaha's another big one, trying to infiltrate as many sports as they can.
Well, it's the new currency now. It was Russia, then it was Qatar, and now it's Saudi. They do what they want to do. The boxing, they've had boxing for 5-6 years. All the big events go out there.
And it's just like, I think I heard Eddie Hearn talking about it the other day about boxing, but it's always about money. It just comes down to that. He literally said, like, if Anthony Joshua was going to fight at home and we were offering 20 million, but Saudi are offering 60 million, of course he's going to go over there. And that's the same with football. And it's happened. It's slowly happening with the players and stuff, but it'll only get worse. And they're doing it more with the golf, and they're heavily involved with that. But then you see it with the clubs, don't you? Man City, Newcastle.
Rumours of a Man United as well.
Yeah, and
PSG.
Yeah, and it's just only going that way, is it? The country and the force they are with the money is ridiculous.
Because the term they use is sports washing. Obviously, they've got this bad record, human rights and whatnot. But I think it's a lot easier to talk about it than it is to do anything, because everyone's got their own moral compass whatsoever. I don't want to get too deep into it, but if someone's offering you 10 times your wages,
you're going to do it, aren't you?
It sounds stupid, but if a Saudi business said to me and Jack, I'll give you £1,000 an episode, you got to record. Okay.
Yeah, done.
Sorry, I'm going to turn that down, because what I believe, you're not going to do it, are you?
Of course.
You're not, and that's what they do it for.
Yeah, and it's like Zaha's going there. Palace probably offered him everything they could and gave him an extension, give him whatever they possibly can. But yeah, Saudi's probably smashed him out of the park, and he's going to go there, isn't he? Of course.
Do you think Messi's gone too early, or do you think it's time? Weird, because he won the FA. He won the FA Cup. Won the World Cup in December, obviously. Odds-on favourite to win the Ballon d'Or in December, whenever it comes round. He hasn't had the best 2 years.
No.
In Paris, he's won the league twice. Like you said, they do that every year. They've been knocked out in the Champions League round of 16, I think. In the round of 16 the last 2 years. Just, they spent a lot of money on him.
Yeah.
Has he been a success there? No. Has he improved them? No. And that's the honest answer. He hasn't. They've won the league, which they always do, and they haven't improved in the Champions League. You haven't improved them.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Where is there to go for him?
Yeah, I think there's just more. There's obviously, I think it's just deeper in it. Like, he 35 now? 35,
yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's comparing him to Ronaldo. Ronaldo went to Saudi when he was 38 or 37, whatever. Like, boring. But I just think, Messi. It sounds ridiculous, but he's probably thinking about his family, and he can have 2 or 3 years in Miami as well. It's not. I know that he's playing for Inter Miami, but he's essentially in Miami, doing whatever he likes, earning all this money, has all this money, bringing his family up in Miami. Yeah, totally different lifestyle. And he could have gone to Saudi, but would you rather be in Saudi Arabia or Miami? I think I'd choose Miami every day of the week. So,
and I know he can get a private jet wherever he wants, but Miami is a couple of hours from Argentina. Yeah, rather than 6-7 long haul flight, shall I say? I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I think he should have stayed in Europe for one more year. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, he could have quite easily, but then it's like, who can actually afford him?
Yeah, and that is the issue. Who can?
If Man City probably could, but do they need him essentially?
No.
Do they want him? Probably not.
He's not going to improve. He's not going to improve them.
No.
As silly as that sounds.
Yeah.
Because he would be. This is going to sound outrageous, but it'd probably be detrimental to what they're.
Yeah. He would play, and obviously, it's Lionel Messi. That's like stupid. Like, it's the best player that's probably ever played the game. But yeah, I don't know. I think the money, even for City, probably wouldn't be quite worth it. I don't know.
You're 100% correct. That's why Barca looked at it, but they're broke, and they were trying to pull on heartstrings really, and they're trying to come back. But no, it's a strange one. Declan Rice, a few rumours. I don't think anything will happen anytime soon on that.
I think there'll be a bit of time because there's strange enough their owner came out, didn't he? And not that our friend Tell was that impressed by it, but came out the day after the final and said basically, yeah, we've got a gentleman's agreement. Rice will go. Thanks very much, but yeah, not the best time in 12 hours after winning it. But yeah, I think there'll be a few days, but it looks like Arsenal, doesn't it? There was a big old chat of Bayern Munich, but I think Arsenal were the favourites.
I don't think Bayern could afford him personally.
No.
Bayern aren't going out spending £100 million on players.
No.
They buy all the young players from Germany. That's why they always dominate that league.
And Rice is a fantastic player, but he's a centre midfielder, really, probably a deep line centre midfielder. Like you said, Arsenal will pay whatever they need to pay, 80, 90 million, whatever it might be in the end, but even Bayern Munich, I don't think they've got or they don't want to spend that amount on again, he's a brilliant player. Just calm down, every West Ham fan that's listening. But Bayern Munich won't want to spend 89 million on a centre midfielder. They want to spend that on a striker, or someone's going to totally win them everything, not Declan Rice.
And then I think that's really about it, really, on transfers. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, there's Madison. There's the chat of Madison, isn't there?
Who was that other young player? There was two, wasn't it? Madison and the other Scott.
That's my gripe as well. Is that so? Madison is reported about 50 million to potentially Tottenham, possibly Newcastle. They've been linked to him for about over a year now, probably. But again, not every, but a lot of Spurs fans. Get my words correct here. A lot of Tottenham fans will moan about Levy and he doesn't spend money and we never buy the players and we don't do this, we don't do that. But in Madison, 50 million, suddenly everyone's in uproar. Oh no, that's too much money. Got to get Alex Scott from Bristol City, 20 million. Yeah, much better, much cheaper option. We need to go for that. But we'll moan about Levy so we'll buy this Scott for 20 million. He might be absolutely awful, and then you go back to moan about Levy and saying you should have bought Madison for 50 million. So just make it make sense.
Is this old Dave from from Bishop Stortford?
No, this is Gary from Guildford. But yeah, I've just seen that. I was like, oh please, just however your story, just make the narrative to your argument and your stories. But yeah, Madison looks like he's going, doesn't he? Yeah. Similar to what Tielemans has done.
Madison definitely got. I think probably Newcastle makes sense.
I think so. I think Newcastle. I'd love him at Tottenham. I think he'd be brilliant. But
two reasons. One, Champions League, but I think the second reason, I think Madison's got more at Newcastle. He's got more opportunity to become the man, if that makes sense. Whereas at Spurs, you'll always play second fiddle to Kane.
Yeah,
and I think he's that sort of personality. I think he wants to be. Give it to me, let me happen. But I don't. Maybe that's just me trying to think of something. But I think that's a reason why he might pick Newcastle. They haven't got an outstanding star as such. Obviously, Bruno Guimaraes is a very good player, but I think Madison has that personality to want to be like a Jack Grealish, like a Grealish at Villa. That sort of.
We'll see.
Be a big player.
But then if it's 50, probably go more. Then Newcastle, going to be clear favourites for that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and like I said, with more podcasts throughout the summer, there'll be plenty more.
Yeah, exactly.
Transfer chats on that. Right, should we move on to winner and loser of the week?
Yeah, I don't have much more to say on recent activity. So yeah, let's go for it.
Right, I'll start with my winner. My winner is my mate Rodri. He got man of the match, I think, on Saturday night.
And he got Champions League Player of the Season.
Did he?
He did.
Oh.
Thought you might like that one.
I didn't know that, but
yeah.
I should have changed my prediction to start the season then. No, I just thought fitting. He's won 2 trophies in a week. Fitting for him to get the goal. Another outstanding performance. 52 starts the season, like I said, most since Messi. Just outstanding player, and what a week, really. Just tops it off. Can't get much better. Score the winning goal in the Champions League final. You will dine out on the rest of your life on that. Not many people get to do that, and I don't think you can have a more fitting winner.
No, very good. My winner is Claudio Ranieri. Again, you could have, like you said, obvious ones, City winning it, even West Ham and all the rest of it. But yeah, Claudio Ranieri, at the age of 71, has led Cagliari, I'm going to go for, back to Serie A after their second leg victory over Bari. They scored a last-minute winner. It was 1-1 after the first leg. I think they won 1-0 on Sunday. Literally scored in the 94th minute or something. That was 30 years after he took them from Division 3 to the top division in his first spell as manager. And yeah, he only took over in December when they were 14th. And yeah, he's won promotion back to Serie A with them. So, and in, like I said, one of the most dramatic ways. So it's pretty cool way for Ranieri to finish the season.
So in Germany, and I think in Spain, Italy as well, I think bottom of the league and top obviously swap. But second from bottom, I know it's in Germany. I think the same
in
is
Scotland as well, I think.
Yeah, second from bottom plays second from, or third from bottom, whatever it is. That's the play. They play each other in like a final. Do you like that or not?
I don't mind it. I mean, it's weird that it's different. Like, why do Italy do that? Why does Scotland have it? Why, all these countries that have it and we don't, for example, as the main one. But I don't know. It's different, isn't it? So you don't know. But I think it'd be pretty cool. But I like the way we have it with the relegation. So
I think it's not unfair, but I'd say that's unfair because you get more money for being in that league. So I don't know. I just think if you finish in the relegation zone, you should be punished.
Yeah, true. And the team that's relegated, they should always beat the side that
you would
trying
think so,
to push up. So
yeah,
I don't know. It'd be quite interesting. I don't think it would ever happen, but
I think. I think.
Is it because of the numbers?
No. So I think I'm stabbing in the dark here. That's what I'm saying. I don't think the other leagues have playoffs. Like we have playoffs in the Championship. That might be wrong.
Yeah.
I think that I'm just thought of that off the top of my head. I'll have to double check that. I could be completely wrong, but that would make sense.
Yeah.
A little bit.
No, because I always see it and don't really think anything of it. And obviously, English football, the FA have never really have thought about it. But I don't think it'll ever happen. But like you said, I think the sides in the bottom three or whatever, bottom four, whatever it is, they should be punished.
So the team that Ranieri beat, Ethan Ampadu.
It was a Bari.
Plays for the other team.
Oh, really?
And he's still in the books at Chelsea, of course.
Yeah.
That's his third consecutive relegation.
Oh, my God.
Sheffield United, and then he got relegated last year with the team beginning with V. Might even be Venice. It's the Venice team.
What, in Italy?
Yeah.
Played for another side? Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
They had that fancy black and gold kit. And then he got relegated last night as well.
Oh,
so he's back to Chelsea again. So.
Yeah.
That would be a fitting loser of the week. But no, my loser of the week is BT Sports /
nice.
Jake Humphries.
Yeah, nice. I've seen your personal Twitter been going off on Jake Humphries.
It's just it just wasn't a very high performance coverage. Like the BT Sport coverage, man. I don't know what you're. Des Kelly, like, what are you doing? Did you see that?
Because like I said, I didn't watch it Saturday, but again, you go on your phone and just see all the backlash of BT and all the rest of it. I don't know what happened, but
he had some captain's armband on because apparently you had to wear that to get on the pitch.
What, Des Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then he took it off live on air while interviewing Gundogan, and took it off and asked him to sign it for him. Like, you're doing an interview, like, at least wait for the camera to stop and then ask him afterwards. Humphries is just...
He's fun. That thing
so cringe.
There's a thread on Twitter that has like 10.
Yeah, I'll put it on the Talking Loyal Twitter one.
So funny. He's just Partridge. He's just such an awkward, horrible bloke.
But he thinks he's this inspirational.
Yeah.
I see him come up on LinkedIn sometimes, and it's just like, oh, God, behave. Like, he's one of them preachers who will go and be like, you can do anything with hard work.
Yeah.
You can to an extent. But if you've only got one hand and you're paralysed, then you can't. Yeah. But he's like, no, all I needed was hard work. Didn't need anything. No, you need a certain level of wealth, maybe the wrong word, but you can't. If you're living, if you've got your mum's single when you're living in a 1-bedroom flat and you ain't got much.
Yeah,
start like saying, he's come from a privileged background and just done well for himself. Yeah, because.
Yeah, no.
And his performance on Saturday he was trying to fake crying and.
Oh. Is he going somewhere else? Or is he just changing?
No, he's just going to focus on his high performance podcast and his business that's doing really, really well for him, and just BT are turning into TNT Sports. Whether that's going to change them, whether they'll get, they need a completely new. Like you see it on Twitter, and it's not always my cup of tea, but the Fox or CBS, with Kate Abdo,
Henri, Carragher.
Carragher. Like it's just funner.
Yeah, it's more enjoyable, isn't it?
Yeah, like they had Balotelli on there. I don't listen to that idiot. I don't listen to Ferdinand twerk for Man City. Like that even irritates me. And
yeah. Well, my loser of the week. If you done?
Yeah.
my loser of the week is quite fitting with your last comment. But yeah, Man United, mainly their support and people that surround. I actually thought this would be your loser of the week, but yeah, people that surround Manchester United, like a Ferdinand. City have just won the treble. Ten Hag said at the start of the season, era has come to an end. So yeah, Ten Hag said era has come to an end this season. City have won the league. United were 14 points behind them. Beat Man United in the FA Cup final and just won the Champions League. So yeah, my loser of the week is Man United. Their supporters, Ferdinand, whoever claims to be a Essex Red.
Did you see that video do the rounds of? Obviously, it was the day after the game after United had won the League Cup, and them lift that mini little trophy. It's got 3 handles.
What, the League Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, Spurs won it, didn't we?
3 handles. Like what?
Yeah.
It's so small as well. I didn't realise how small it was. But no, very fitting. Very fitting. Right, speaking of Man United.
Oh yeah.
Southampton knocked Manchester City out the League Cup to stop a historic quadruple. But which team knocked Manchester United out the League Cup in 1999 to end their quadruple hopes?
It's gonna be total guess. Sheffield Wednesday.
No.
I have no idea. I'm just gonna be guessing. So this is a big L this week.
I'd be very interested to see if your dad gets this. Tottenham Hotspur.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was.
Tottenham Hotspur. It was on the 2nd of December 1998. Tottenham 3, Manchester United 1. Armstrong with the double. Don't know who that is. And David Ginola. Teddy Sheringham scoring for Manchester United.
Armstrong, I think he was our striker.
Yeah. So your team that day, Walker, Carr, Calderwood, Big Sol Campbell, Young, Anderton, Nielsen, Sinton, Ginola, Iverson, Armstrong.
Nice.
Man United, Van der Gaal, Clegg, Berg, Johnson, Curtis, Greening, Butt, Phil Neville, Giggs, Sheringham, and Ollie.
Yeah, good. We were a good side back then.
And that's where the quadruple ended at White Hart Lane.
It was was it?
And it was George Graham's Tottenham Hotspur who beat them in the quarterfinals, and Spurs went on to win the cup that year.
Really?
Beating Leicester City. So
I shouldn't know that.
There we go. Anyway, end to another podcast, episode 50.
50 is up.
50 up.
Done.
Who would have thought? It's gone quick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty mad, isn't it? Like we said from the first episode, where pretty much the sound didn't work and had no idea what was going on. But yeah, episode 50 in less than a year, basically a season of football.
Yeah, done well.
Well done, mate.
Special guests.
Yeah.
And if there's any new listeners from last week, I know Andy's a very popular episode.
It was.
If any of Andy's friends or work colleagues are listening, then thank you again for sticking around. And
yeah.
Follow us on all the socials. Is it at Talking Law Pod, isn't it?
Yeah, Talking Law Pod on Instagram and more active on Instagram. Trying to get more active on Facebook and all the rest of it. But 50 episodes and
now we're coming to the post-season now. There'll be more, I say special episodes, but we'll think of ideas like Ultimate 11s, and we did with Freddie before and Griff. And
we'll probably won't be on throughout the whole summer, but we'll try and do as much as we can and try and think of different topics, like you said, and probably transfer news and things that are happening and whatever else.
Yeah, there'll be things to talk about, definitely.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for all the feedback we received last week, and
yes,
hope you're still enjoying it, and we'll see you again next week, probably.
Yeah, and before I go, it's my dad's birthday tomorrow, 13th of June. So big happy birthday to Dad, or DJ Darren, or whatever you want to call him. I can't remember your age. I'm not going to say it on here. So we'll go. You throughout school from year 7 to 11. You were 40 every single year. So we'll stick with that. But stay loyal.
Will he be performing at?
Oh yeah, he will
Sundown?
be. He will be still there. Sundown. So happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday. And stay loyal.
Stay loyal.